A few years ago, if someone had told me 3 small daily habits could affect my wife's memory, I probably would have laughed. We ate normally, lived a balanced life, and had no serious health conditions. But then one afternoon, while preparing dinner, she just stood frozen in the middle of the kitchen. I asked, "What do you need, hun?" She only gave a faint smile, then hesitantly confessed, "Honey, I forgot what I came in here for." At the time, I didn't think much about it. Who doesn't forget little things now and then? But those forgetful moments kept happening more often. She started misplacing her keys, forgetting what was cooking on the stove, and once even forgot it was our granddaughter's birthday. I saw embarrassment mixed with worry in her eyes. As for me, I started to feel scared. Was this just a sign of old age, or the start of something more serious? We decided to pause and take a hard look at our lives. No supplements, no expensive therapies. We simply did one thing. We cut out 3 seemingly harmless habits that were secretly damaging her memory each day. Just a few weeks later, I began to notice a difference. She was more alert in the mornings, no longer frustrated over lost items, and the familiar sparkle. It had returned to her bright, quick eyes. There was no magic involved. We had just let go of 3 things that seemed innocent, but were deeply harmful. Things you might also be doing every day without realizing it. In this video, I'm going to share with you the 3 habits my wife and I gave up, and why this one small decision could make such a big difference for our memory and our quality of life at 68. If you or someone you love is also becoming more forgetful, please watch until the end, because the last habit is one that so many older adults quietly continue, not knowing it's silently hurting their brain every single night. Now let's get started. Habit 1. We stopped snacking at night. I still remember that familiar feeling every evening, sharing a sleeve of butter cookies while watching television, or maybe 2 ice cream bars around 10 o'clock. It's just a little snack. What's the harm? We used to say. But have you ever noticed that after nights like those, your sleep feels heavier, and the next morning your mind feels like it's covered in fog? The reality is, after 60, your body doesn't process food the way it did when you were younger. Your metabolism slows, your digestive system is less efficient, and every meal, especially a late one, becomes a burden on your brain when it should be resting. My wife used to say, "I just feel like I can't sleep well, even though my body is exhausted." And then I noticed it myself. On the nights we had snacks, she would invariably forget something the next day. I thought it was a coincidence, but when I read the medical literature, I discovered it. Eating late disrupts the deep sleep cycle, the stage when the brain cleans itself, recovers, and consolidates memories. A specific example is our former neighbor Margaret, who is 72. She used to have a few slices of sweet bread every night because she said it settled her stomach and helped her sleep. But after her doctor's advice, she made a change, switching to chamomile tea and stopping all food after 7 p.m. Just 1 month later, she shared that she felt so much sharper, and even remembered an old friend's phone number she thought was gone forever. Science has also confirmed it. Late-night eating doesn't just affect blood sugar, it also causes low-grade inflammation in the body, a factor closely linked to cognitive decline and memory problems in older adults. So we set a new rule. Nothing to eat after 7 in the evening. It was a little tough at first. Old habits die hard, but it got easier when we replaced them with a warm cup of tea or a few slices of fruit if we were truly hungry. The result: deeper sleep, a clearer mind, and mornings that start with a smile, not with the confused feeling of, "I don't remember what I was about to do." If you're also struggling with forgetfulness, try looking at the clock tonight. Your memory might be begging for a break, and it all starts with saying goodbye to the refrigerator after 7 p.m. Habit 2. We stopped using our phones before bed. Before, every night before sleep, my wife had a seemingly innocent habit: scrolling through Facebook posts, watching a few short videos, or reading some late-night news. I did too, the 2 of us lying side by side, each in front of a screen. We thought it was a gentle way to wind down before bed, but neither of us suspected that this very habit was slowly eroding her memory, little by little. You see, blue light from your phone doesn't just strain your eyes, It disrupts your body's natural circadian rhythm, the very thing that controls deep sleep, REM sleep, and the brain's process of reorganizing memories. The information you consume right before sleeping, especially negative news, not only agitates your mind, but also puts your nervous system on high alert. This means that while you're trying to close your eyes, your brain isn't truly off yet. My wife started complaining about waking up startled in the middle of the night, feeling groggy in the morning, her mind a jumble. Increasingly, she had trouble recalling names, would mix up appointment times, and once even texted me and then forgot what she had sent. At first, we blamed it on age, but when we stopped using our phones 30 minutes before bed, something amazing happened. Instead of staring at screens, we talked. Some nights we read, other nights we just quietly listened to the ceiling fan spin. It felt a little empty at first, but then after a few days, she started sleeping more deeply. Her mornings no longer began with a long yawn and a dazed look. She could remember our conversations from the day before. She knew where she left her glasses, and she began to bring up little things I thought she had forgotten. I remember the story of Ken, a friend from my retirement group in Atlanta. He was diagnosed with mild cognitive impairment, but instead of starting medication right away, he tried unplugging all devices after 8 p.m. In just 2 months, his doctor noted a significant improvement, not because he did anything complicated, but because he let his brain rest properly. Modern science is clear. Blue light suppresses melatonin, the hormone that helps you sleep deeply. Fragmented sleep disrupts the process of converting short-term memories into long-term ones. In other words, every time you pick up your phone before bed, you are stealing your own ability to remember. Since we stopped bringing our phones to bed, both the quality of her sleep and my wife's memory have changed dramatically. She started recalling old memories, calling each grandchild by their correct name without my help. Most importantly, her eyes no longer held that tired look each morning. So if you find yourself quietly scrolling in the dark, try putting your phone down a little earlier tonight. That small act might be the simplest way to hold on to what's most precious in your memory, your keepsakes, the names of your loved ones, and the feeling of being sharp and present every day. Habit 3. We remove sugary drinks from our diet. There was one habit we used to consider a small daily pleasure, a sweet tea in the afternoon or a cold can of soda after coming home from the store. My wife loves sweet-tasting drinks, especially the ones advertised as low-calorie or for dieters. But here's what few people tell you. Those seemingly harmless sips are secretly impacting your brain, little by little, day after day. I started paying attention when my wife mentioned she felt mentally foggy after lunch. She would often repeat a question in the same afternoon, and after finishing a soda, she'd frequently complain that she was tired for no reason. I just chalked it up to the weather or her age, until I read a study in a leading medical journal. Consumption of sugary drinks, including the diet kinds, can increase the risk of memory loss and even shrink brain volume in older adults. Sugar, especially the refined sugar in soft drinks, causes sudden spikes and crashes in blood sugar. This not only affects your energy, but also leaves the brain feeling stunned, reducing your ability to focus and remember. For younger people, the body can regulate this. But for those of us over 60, each blood sugar shock is a burden on the central nervous system, which is already weakening with time. I remember the afternoon my wife said, "My head feels so much lighter and clearer today." That was the 4th day since we decided to completely remove soft drinks from our house. No more soda in the fridge, no more bottled iced tea, just filtered water, fresh fruit juice, and a few lemon slices in a glass. After a couple of weeks, the change was obvious. She started remembering our daily schedule, proactively called relatives to check in, and, most notably, no longer fumbled around looking for her reading glasses. A friend of ours, Clara in Florida, 69, was a diet soda devotee. She drank at least 2 cans a day, thinking that no sugar meant no harm. But after a health screening, her doctor pointed out that artificial sweeteners can still cause inflammation and affect the memory centers of the brain. Clara decided to stop. 6 weeks later, she said the fog in her head had finally lifted. What's remarkable is giving up sugary drinks doesn't just help memory. It also helps stabilize mood, reduce fatigue, and improve sleep quality, All of these are key factors in protecting brain function as you get older. If you're holding a sugary drink right now, take a moment to reconsider. Is it truly a reward, or is it a debt you'll pay with your precious memory? We chose plain water, which sounds boring, but it was the simplest thing that helped my wife gradually find her clarity again. And for me, no drink is sweeter than the moment I hear her call our grandson by his right name without any prompting from me. Looking back on the small journey my wife and I have been on, I've realized something simple yet profound. Memory, like health, isn't lost in one big moment. It's eroded by the things we do every day. A late-night bag of snacks, a brightly lit phone screen in the dark, or a seemingly harmless can of soda. And in the same way, recovery doesn't come from grand gestures. It starts with very small choices. Skipping that late snack, putting the phone down earlier, choosing a glass of water instead of soda. Those changes, if you stick with them long enough, will quietly give you back the precious things that age had been silently taking away. If you're asking yourself, is it too late to change? I want to tell you what I've witnessed. It is never too late. My wife started at 68. She didn't use special medications or follow a strict training regimen. We simply learned to let go. And sometimes letting go is the best way to start over. You might not immediately remember an old acquaintance's name or where you left something, but if you start caring for your sleep, adjusting what you consume, and learning to let your brain breathe, day by day your memory will begin to smile back at you. So what will you choose for yourself today? Start with the smallest thing. Maybe it's not opening your phone once you're in bed, or simply drinking a glass of water instead of a soda after your meal, because every choice you make today becomes a memory you get to keep for tomorrow. If you found this video useful, please leave a comment or share your own story. So together we can spread the belief that memory can be restored, as long as you begin the right way. Thank you for listening, and I hope to see you in another video, when you'll be the one telling your own story of memory improvement.